Well, hello all. All right. Well, there's lots of news going on, and the next week I won't be able to do a video. There's just too much going on. So I thought I'd do another one today. As the orange convicted felon tries to cut all this stuff in the U.S., such as the CDC Science Department, the NHS Science Departments, and medical research, he's cutting all that to the bone so that he can save a little bit of money in the U.S. so that he can give $3 trillion tax cuts to his buddies and himself. But here's the thing. He talks about saving money by cutting all these people's jobs and research for cancer. I mean, how many people have cancer? Well, almost everybody will have cancer in their life, especially men. Anybody over 80, you get prostate cancer regardless. So that research is being cut and gotten rid of so that Trump can give tax cuts to the wealthy. And what does he do yesterday? Well, the Daytona 500 was going, and he took Air Force One and did a flyover. And then once he landed, he took a motorcade and went around the track a few times to get cheers and all this glory done to him like the fascist leader he is. But do you know how much money it took to do that little trip, that flyover and that drive around? $30 million. $30 million. So the hypocrisy is so blatant with these wealthy pieces of garbage, these felons. This guy's a felon. So anyway, $30 million to do that. And while he was doing that, the Midwest was flooding because of climate change. 10 people were killed by their cars washing away and people getting stranded in raging waters. But he doesn't believe in climate change, does he? That's right. So let's look at another thing that he's doing that's causing all kinds of troubles. U.S. federal workers at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration are monitoring signs of potential layoffs at these facilities. The weather is very important so that we get warnings about hurricanes and tornadoes and all the weather-related issues, but yet the orange felon is going to lay off all these people. The orange felon will overhaul one of the government's main scientific agencies. Many employees are bracing for potential staff cuts as well as slashes to the funding that supports science. Though we've known that Trump and his minions don't believe in science, even though he flies around in a plane, which is all about science. It's all about, people in science invented planes. Science is real, but he doesn't believe so. So when you cut it, it's just cutting waste in the U.S. government. The NOAA administration have received a list of terms that cannot be spoken, and let me tell you what those terms are. Women, climate change, pollution, natural resources, diversity, equity, and inclusion. He doesn't want to hear any of those words, so he's put a list out of you can't say these things in press briefings or in scientific literature. Can you believe this shit? They want to privatize the weather forecasting and technology office. Now, the problem with that is that if you were to privatize it, what would the privatization people do? What would these companies do? They'd put a paywall up and make you pay to see what the weather is. That's why it's not privatized. This orange felon is just something else. All right, so let's get to one more thing about the environment I wanted you guys to hear about, because it's very serious. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing that can be done about it, but I thought I'd put it out there anyway. CO2 levels for February 15th, 2024 were 422.91 parts per billion. Remember that, 422.91 parts per billion. CO2 February 14th, 2025 was 427.44 parts per million. Yes, CO2 is still going up. It's measured through science. It's measured and is real. CO2 November 2022 was 417.47 parts per million. 417. That's back in 2022. CO2 for November of 2023 was 420.46 parts per million. CO2 for November of 2024 was 423.85 parts per million. So the point here is that each year it's going up about the same amount each year, a little bit faster and faster each year, and then we wonder why we're having huge floods and deluges around the world and heat waves and other climate related situations going on around the planet. And it is real, and I know a lot of people don't want to believe in climate change or science or medical research or any of that stuff because they may have to go get a vaccine. Oh my God, they have to get a needle poked in their arm. All right, enough of that. I have an interesting little video down in the description. Democracy Now! Talks about the cuts with more science and more medical research. I thought you guys might want to see that. If not, don't click on it. But if you do, go ahead and click on it and educate. Make sure you try and educate yourself as much as possible about all what's happening. And I appreciate any ups, any comments, and new subscribers. And I appreciate the 2 new subscribers I got from the last video. Thank you very much. And until next time.